The light November rain turned the cemetery into a melancholy scene when Eleanor Vance saw the scene that would change her life forever. There, in front of her son, Arthur's marble tomb, a young black woman in a waitress uniform held a small child, both crying as if the world had ended. Eleanor stopped abruptly, her gloved hands clenching the bouquet of white roses. At 55, the heiress to the Vance Industries empire had never seen these two people before. But something about the woman's posture and the child's delicate features made her heart race inexplicably. "Excuse me," Eleanor said, her voice cutting through the silence of the cemetery like a knife. "Before we continue, tell us where in the world you are watching from. Drop it in the comments below. And if you enjoy this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful content like this. This is a private moment. You're in the wrong place." The young woman lifted her face, revealing eyes red from crying. "I'm sorry. I didn't know anyone was coming today." Her voice trembled, but there was a dignity there that Eleanor hadn't expected to find. "Who are you?" Eleanor asked, her ruthless business instincts kicking in. "And why are you crying at my son's grave?" The child, a boy of about 4, looked up at Eleanor with bright green eyes, eyes she knew all too well, eyes she had seen in a mirror for decades, eyes identical to Arthur's. "My name is Sarah Jenkins," the young woman replied, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. "And this is Leo. I work at the corner diners in town. I come here every month because..." She hesitated, looking at the child. "Because Arthur was important to us." Eleanor felt the world spin. Arthur had died 3 years ago in a car accident at the age of 28, taking with him all the dreams she had for the Vance family. She had investigated every detail of his life after the funeral, trying to find meaning in his loss. She had never found evidence of serious relationships, let alone a child. "How important is it?" Eleanor asked, her voice dropping an octave. The rain began to fall harder, but none of the three moved. Sarah looked into Eleanor's eyes with a courage that surprised the billionaire. "Because Leo is his son, and because I promised him that I would always take care of him no matter what." 2 weeks later, Eleanor had turned her private library into a command center. Private investigator reports covered the century-old mahogany table. "Single, no known family, works 60 hours a week at 2 jobs," Eleanor muttered. "Lives in a 1-bedroom apartment on the poor side of town." She scheduled a meeting. The next day, Sarah arrived at Vance Industries headquarters. Eleanor welcomed her into her office on the top floor, a calculated display of power. "Sit down," Eleanor said, gesturing to a chair strategically positioned lower than hers. "We need to talk about Leo." Sarah remained standing. "I'd rather stand, thank you." "I've looked into you, Miss Jenkins. 2 jobs, no savings, living in conditions unsuitable for a child." "Leo is well cared for and loved," Sarah replied, her voice firm. Eleanor smiled a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "A Vance child deserves more than your best. He deserves the best money can buy." "And what exactly are you suggesting?" $200,000, Eleanor said, sliding a check across the table. "Leo comes to live with me, gets the education he deserves. You can visit him on weekends." Sarah stared at the check. "Are you trying to buy my son?" "He's not your son," Eleanor snapped. "He's my grandson. Blood of my blood, and frankly, a waitress can't offer him what a family like ours can." "Family?" Sarah laughed without humor. Leo has called me Mom for 3 years. I wake up with him when he has nightmares. I read him bedtime stories. That's family." Eleanor stood up, towering over Sarah. "Noble sentiments, but you work like a slave to pay rent. Leo deserves private schools, trips around the world, opportunities you can never give him. And he deserves unconditional love," Sarah replied. "Something you clearly didn't give your own son." The silence was deafening. "How dare you?" "Arthur told me about you," Sarah continued, "about the missed football games, the birthdays where you sent expensive gifts through assistants. You want Leo because he's a second chance to clear your conscience, not because you truly care about him." Eleanor clenched her fists. "You don't know me." "No, but I knew your son. And I know exactly why he never mentioned Leo to you." Sarah took the check and tore it in half, the pieces falling to the floor. "Leo isn't for sale." "Then we'll do this the hard way," Eleanor said, her voice taking on a dangerous edge. "I have resources you can't imagine. Lawyers, investigators. I can prove that a single mother living in poverty is not in the best interest of the child." Sarah smiled for the first time. "Eleanor, you're assuming I'm just a poor waitress you can intimidate. But there are things about me, about Leo, about Arthur that you haven't discovered yet. And when you do," she paused, her eyes flashing with a determination that shocked the billionaire. "Well, let's just say your investigators aren't as good as you think they are." 3 days later, Eleanor received a call that left her stunned. Her lead attorney, Mr. Henderson, sounded nervous. "Eleanor, Miss Jenkins has legal representation. Morrison, Caldwell, and Pierce. Pro bono." Eleanor nearly spilled her coffee. "One of the top 3 law firms in the country." "That's impossible." She hung up, furious. Meanwhile, in Sarah's modest apartment, a meeting was taking place. Dr. Evelyn Reed, a law professor from the University of Chicago, and Sarah's aunt, sat with Mark Finley, an investigative journalist known for exposing corporate corruption. "Aunt Evelyn, thank you for coming," Sarah said. "We've been waiting for this moment for 3 years," Evelyn replied, smiling. "Every night class I've taken, every law book I've read," Sarah said, "it's all been to protect Leo and honor Arthur's memory." "The evidence you've gathered is impressive, Sarah," Mark said. 3 years of documenting Vance Industries' questionable practices." The phone rang. It was Eleanor. "What game are you playing?" she yelled. "I warned you there were things about me you hadn't discovered," Sarah said calmly. "Unlimited resources?" She smiled, looking at her allies. "You're assuming money is the only kind of power there is. What about the truth? The truth about your illegal business dealings?" On Monday morning, Eleanor woke up to missed calls and her assistant standing outside her door with a tablet, his face pale with fear. The headline of the city's main newspaper filled the screen. "Empire built on corruption. Leaked documents revealed decades of crimes at Vance Industries." Scanned documents showed fraudulent contracts and illegal payments. "How did they get this?" she whispered. Her lawyer called. "It's a disaster. The IRS has issued warrants. The FBI is on its way." Eleanor immediately called Sarah, her hands shaking. "You did this? How dare you destroy my life?" "Good morning, Eleanor," Sarah replied calmly. "I imagine you've read the news. I'll destroy you." "What resources?" Sarah interrupted. "Your bank accounts were frozen 15 minutes ago." Eleanor rushed to her computer. Access denied. "Why?" Eleanor asked, her voice breaking. Because you never asked about Leo's mother, Sarah said simply. If you had, you would have found out her name was Isabelle Dubois. Eleanor's blood ran cold. Isabelle was the daughter of Philip Dubois, your cousin. The same cousin you betrayed in 1995 to steal his share of the family business. She grew up poor because of you. She met Arthur in college. They fell in love. When Isabelle died in childbirth, Arthur came to me. I was her best friend, but Arthur also discovered the truth about what you did to Isabelle's family. He spent the last months of his life investigating you, gathering proof. When he died, he left everything to me. He asked me to wait for the right moment. Eleanor looked out the window and saw FBI vans. The accident? It wasn't an accident, Sarah said. Arthur uncovered a money laundering scheme involving dangerous people you hired. They killed your own son, Eleanor. The revelation hit Eleanor like a physical blow. Heavy footsteps came up the stairs. FBI! The door burst open. As handcuffs clicked around her wrists, Eleanor heard Sarah one last time. Leo will grow up knowing the truth. He'll know that justice, even when it's slow, always comes.